Hello and welcome to the last yoga flow of week 2, and I hope that you are receiving so many benefits within your body in the space that has been created. Today we're going to be working on a little bit more of a combination of the yin, so the stretching, and also core activation. So we're starting to build some strength here to prepare us for these next couple flows. So you may need a block for this to help with your twist a little bit or for comfort within the hips. So know your body, know if you're tight or know what your limits are, and always be open to asking for support. Which that brings me to the intentions of this practice is talking about support and sabotage and talking about your past. So when you're ready, grab a block. Grab any other props that you might feel comfortable with, whether that be a towel, a blanket, folded up, a pillow, and I will see you on the mat. So as our usual, we're going to come into a cross-legged position. Sit bones are rooted, hands are relaxed on our knees, our shoulders are down, back and relax. Lengthening up from the crown, feel as if someone is pulling the top of your head all the way up, or you're bouncing something on your head. Relax the jaw, relax the tongue, come into your body. Find the effort, find the ease. What is your body communicating with you? I'm going to incorporate that Ujjayi breath this practice. So we're going to inhale from the nose and constrict the back of the throat. And exhale out. Inhale, constricting the throat. Breathe through the nose. Exhale out. Feel the diaphragm working, your intercostal muscles, your whole back and your ribs and your core all working together, your chest. Inhale. And exhale. Two more. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Normalize your breath and notice the sensations, the tingles that you might be feeling within the body, the energy around you, within you. What do you sense? What do you feel? Just observe. You might not think it's anything, and there might not be anything near you, but there's still air around you, the floor beneath you. There's things within your proximity. Can you feel that? Activate these senses that give us these experiences. How can we bring more awareness to them? Maybe think of an instance that you might look back on and think, wow, I really wasn't aware of that situation, my response, my reaction, how I handled that, what you said, what you did. And just reflect on how many other experiences were like that. And how can you be more aware, more intentional with your future and how you speak and communicate with others, what you do for yourself and for others, the intentions of your work. And know that the past no longer defines you. What you once did or who you were before, even an hour ago, yesterday, does not mean that you're stuck in that version of yourself. Where might you be sabotaging yourself by holding this past above your head? Feelings of regret or guilt, maybe. How can you let that go? How can you accept the past for what it was and accept the future for what it is and what will be? But most importantly, this present moment. This is a moment right now where you get to decide who it is that you want to be by setting intentions. Take a deep breath in from the nose and exhale out. Gently open your eyes wherever you're at. And we're going to start to come into butterfly pose. So our feet come together, our knees are out wide. You can come into a diamond pose if this is better within your practice, where you move your feet a little bit further in front of you. You can place blocks underneath your thighs here if that's too much for your hips, or pillows or your towel. Interlace your hands between your toes here. I know that feels really, really weird, but just hold here and notice what you feel. Lengthen up from the crown, your sit bones are rooted, and begin to guide your chest so we're hinging from the hips versus the lower back as far as you can. Taking a deep breath, following with your breath. And then when you've reached your edge, you can slowly round the upper back and tuck the chin and the chest. Maybe you move from side to side. Where do you feel the stretch? Everyone's different. Do you feel it in your inner thighs, your outer hips, your lower back, your obliques? Take one final deep breath in, and on your exhale, see if you can surrender a little bit more. Maybe you're pressing on your calves with your elbows and your forearms. Pressing your chest forward for a deeper stretch, if this is within your practice. Feeling the belly rise with comfort. And exhale out. Slowly rise back up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Feel that domino effect within the spine. Release your hands. We're going to lean back on our hands. Bend the knees. We're going to just windshield wiper. So keep your knees hip width apart. And then just rock them from side to side. Roll into the lateral borders of your feet. Kind of awakening up the hips here. Bring your knees back up to center here. I'm going to rotate this way. And we're going to keep our hands behind us, fingers pointing towards our feet. We're going to activate our triceps, push through the base of our wrists like we're trying to push our wrists apart, but gripping into our fingertips. We're going to press into our heels, into the balls of our feet, squeeze the glutes, and lift our hips up for a reverse table. Feeling the stretch on the front part of the body, the chest. Feel the collarbones expand. Engage in the core. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the knees towards the midline. Pressing into our heels and our ankles. Rooted down. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. Slowly, with intention, bring your hips back down to the mat. We're gonna roll onto our hands and knees for a tabletop position. Tuck the toes, organize and stack the body so our knees are in line with our hips, ankles in line with our knees, and shoulders are over our wrists. Fingers are spread wide apart, activating our fingertips, pressing into the pads of our fingers and the base of our knuckles where our fingers meet the palm and the base of our wrist. So from here we're going to do a wave like cat-cow. So from here, start to arch the belly, gaze up, start to lean forward into your hands. Slide your hips towards your heels, around the back, push the floor away from you. And slightly lean towards your heels, not completely sit on them. Then round forward, flatten the back, arch the back, gazes up, drop the belly, sink into your shoulders. Push the floor away from you as you round back towards your heels. And then lean, round forward, flatten that back, arch your back, leaning forward over your palms, feeling the stretch on your triceps and the base of your palms. Lean back, round the back. And continue this with your breath. So inhale as you drop the belly, arch the back. And exhale as you push the floor away from you. Rocking forward and back with a cat-cow. Take 2 more of these. Exhale as you arch the back. Inhale as you round. And then come into a neutral position. Press into your hands here. Tuck the toes. Lift the knees off the mat for a nice hover. Engage the core. Lift the pelvic floor muscles, the perineum. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly with control, release your knees down. Untuck the toes. Lean onto your heels. Just shake out your wrists. You do some circles with your wrists. And come back, lean onto your hands for a tabletop position. We're going to kickstand our left ankle off the mat to come into our half moon. Extend the right foot back, drop onto the right heel, press into that left hand, engage that tricep, that shoulder, and the shoulder. Push the floor away and slide your right hand up the chest, all the way up towards the ceiling. Engage the left obliques, the left glutes, pressing into the outer edge of your right foot. Engage the inner right thigh. And if this feels comfortable, you can lean back a little bit, making sure that we're not sinking into that left shoulder. Find your breath. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, slowly rotate back down towards the tabletop position. Going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So kickstand your right ankle off the mat, extend your left leg back and drop onto that heel. Press into the outer edge of that left foot for support. Hips are becoming stacked as you rise your left hand towards the ceiling. Engage that right obliques, the right glutes for stability and support. Press actively through both hands, reaching apart from each other. And if this feels good, you can lean a little bit further back with your left hand. Take a deep breath in, feel the collarbones spread apart and stretch. And exhale out. Slowly, guiding with your core, come back into a tabletop position here. We're going to start to activate the core a little bit more, so you can tuck the left toes, press into your right hand, and then lift the right leg back, hip height, reach through the heel, toes point down, squeeze that right glute, find stability, engage the core, so suck in the belly button slightly, keep the ribs down and tucked, and when you're ready, You can lift your left hand up to reach the wall in front of you. Reach in through those fingertips, thumb points up towards the ceiling. Activate that tricep. Micro bend within the elbows, within the joints. Take a deep breath in. You can hold here, or you can bring the knee towards your elbow. Inhale to extend, and exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, and exhale. Use your left glute for support here. Press into the tops of those left toes. Take one more, knee to elbow, and extend up. Slowly with control, release back down. Lean onto your heels, shake out your wrist here. Deep breaths, and when you're ready, come back into that tabletop position. Press into the L and the J space between your hands here. Pressing the arms away from each other. Lean into that right leg. Tuck those right toes. Find your drishti, so right in front of you, right in between the fingertips, a little bit further up. Lean into that left hand, activate that tricep, and then extend that left leg back, reaching through that heel, toes point down. Feeling that pelvic floor muscle rise, so we're not sinking into that right hip. Press into that left hand, and when you're ready, you can extend your right hand out in front of you. Reaching through those fingertips, actually feeling a line from the top of your head all the way out towards the sacral area, your lower back, reaching behind you. Exhale, bring your knee to your elbow. Inhale, extend, press into that left hand for support, and exhale, round. Inhale, exhale. Maybe incorporate that Ujjayi breath. Take two more here. Exhale. And last one. Inhale. And exhale. Really feel the core being engaged. And then exhale, come into a neutral position. Sit on your heels and shake out your wrists. Take a deep breath in. Feel that core. You're going to come back into that tabletop position. Tuck the toes. We're going to send the hips back for our first downward facing dog. So we're reaching through our heels to reach down towards the mat. If they don't reach, that's okay. Keep a micro bend within the knees. You might walk your hands out a little bit further in front of you. And again, we're pushing our hands away from each other to activate those triceps and the deltoids, so our shoulder muscles and our lats. We're pressing our chest towards our thighs. Think of a long straight back here. Send the hips and the butt up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. We're sending oxygen and blood to the head here, the brain, the scalp, which is great for our skin, for our hair. And just reversing the blood flow a little bit. Maybe you pedal your dog here, bending one knee at a time. Press into that L and J space between your hands and the base of your palms. Notice what you're saying to yourself. Is this hard? Is this challenging? You want to give up? Where are you creating the self-sabotage for yourself?
What or who are you saying yes to when you really mean no? Where can you place those boundaries?
Take a deep breath in. Start to bend that right knee and place it in between your hands. Drop that left knee for a low lunge. Press into that left hand here. Our right knee is stacked over our right ankle, so look at your form. Lean forward onto that left knee, so we're not directly on the kneecap, but a little bit forward, and you can untuck those toes here. Hips are gently squared, elongated from the back. Press into that left hand, then slide your right hand up towards the ceiling for a nice twist. Take a deep breath in and exhale out.
Know that sometimes when we are triggered, that means that a boundary was crossed. So where can you implement that ahead
Take a
of
deep
time?
breath in. And exhale, slowly release that right hand. Begin to straighten that front leg, the right leg, sending the hips stacked over the left knee. Hands are placed on the mat here. You can round the upper back. You can have a bend within that right knee. If you want to flex the toes up towards the ceiling, you can get a deeper stretch within the hamstring and the calf. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Slowly bend back into that front knee and place your right hand on the inside of that right knee. Lean your knee onto that shoulder and lean your elbow into that shin, the calf area. Press into one another, engage the core here, elongate that spine, and then lift the left hand up towards the ceiling. Notice what you feel within that hip flexor. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. And exhale to slowly release that left hand back down. Press into your hands and send that right leg back. And come into our downward facing dog again. We're going to take a chaturanga. So what that means is roll yourself into a high plank. Ankles are in line and stacked with the legs. So take a look at your ankles. Make sure they're not splaying outwards. Your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Pelvis is slightly tucked. Engage the lower abs, the upper abs. Scapula as your shoulder blades push away from you. Push your hands away from one another into the pads of the hands and start to hug your elbows in towards your body. So pretend you have a piece of paper or ball between your armpits and someone's trying to pull that ball or that piece of paper out, and you're keeping it nice and snug. And as you start to slowly lower yourself down, use those biceps, bring your chin and your chest and your knees down, and then slide forward to an upward facing dog. Arms are straight, toes are untucked. Press into the tops of your feet and reach up from the crown. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. Begin to tuck the toes. Drag the hips back as if you're coming to a tabletop position, and then you come into a downward facing dog. Notice the different sensations that you feel from the left and the right side. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Lean into that right leg as you bend that left knee and send it in between your hands. And drop that right knee for a low lunge. Left knee is stacked over the left ankle. Untuck those right toes and come forward onto that right knee. Hips are squared, so make any adjustments that feel good for you. Elongate that spine.
Feel the effects on that hip flexor. And just take a moment to observe the pros and cons of setting those boundaries. How much energy are you saving for yourself? How much more productive will you be? Or more so, what lessons are they learning by those boundaries?
Press into that right hand and inhale your left hand up towards the ceiling, making sure that your left knee does not splay out, but it's pushing towards the midline. Reaching through that outer edge of that left ankle, the left heel, for support. Press into the balls of the feet. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Slowly release that left hand and start to straighten that front leg, sending the hips to be stacked over that right knee. Hands are placed on the mat, framing that foot. If you want to flex the toes up. Get a little bit deeper and have a micro bend within that left knee, or a big bend. Round the upper back. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Begin to come back into that low lunge here. Bend into that front knee. Place your left hand on the inside of that left leg. Leg leans against the arm. Arm pushes back. And slide your right hand up towards the ceiling. Moving with intention.
And just take a moment to reflect on how boundaries reflect your self-worth. And by placing these boundaries, what does that mean about your self-love? That you love yourself enough to say no.
Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Slowly release your right hand back towards center. Tuck the right back toes and send that left leg back and come into that downward facing dog. Notice the different sensations that you feel from one side to another. And we're going to take that chaturanga again, so engage the lower abs, round into that plank pose. Find stability within the heels and the ankles, within the wrists and the shoulders. Pushing the floor away from you into the L and J place. Elbows are tucked in. Slowly lower your chin and chest and knees and slide up into that upward facing dog. Pressing your head up towards the ceiling. Arms are straight. Toes are untucked. Maybe lift the knees here if that feels good for you and your lower back. Engage the core. And exhale, come into that downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Bend into those knees here. We're going to come onto our backs. Keep our knees bent. Just take a moment to acknowledge the backs here. Shoulders draw down and back, so adjust yourself in any which way. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Begin to bring your knees towards your chest. Hands wrap around your knees, maybe sway from side to side. Massaging the lower back, the organs, the squeeze and soak effect within the organs. So we're squeezing, preventing blood flow. So when we release the pose and the squeeze, blood flow flushes and nourishes all the little nooks and crannies within our organs and within our joints. Take a deep breath in. Then place your hands on your knees here and start to guide your knees to make big circles. Allowing just your hands to do the works and trying to relax the hips as much as possible. Trying to find stability within the hips by engaging the pelvic floor muscles, the lower abs. So slightly tucking in that belly button, and then go the opposite way. Notice what you feel within the lower back. And the hips is the femur, the head of the femur is rolling into those hip sockets. And when you're ready, bring your knees back up to your chest, spread your knees wide, and then bring your hands in between your knees and reach for the outer edges of your feet. We're coming into a happy baby. So pull your feet up towards the ceiling. Feet are stacked over your knees. Your knees spread wide, and try to press your lower back into the mat. So again, everybody's anatomy is different, so your feet might not be directly above the knees, but just enough to feel this deep hip opener. Relax the hips, relax the knees. Just allow the weight of your arms to pull your knees back. And that's kind of like you're sticking your butt out to keep a flat back. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. One more time, inhale and exhale out. Slowly with control, release your knees, release your feet all the way down. Coming into our final resting pose, Shavasana. Palms face up or down, shoulders are down and back, relaxed. Relax the jaw. And just observe your thoughts. Observe the questions that was asked from this practice, and maybe you revisit them later. The inner self-sabotage that you've been creating for yourself. What stories are you telling that no longer serve you? That might be false stories or of your past and no longer are for your future. What is it that's holding you back? Maybe any distractions. What are you telling yourself? What are you allowing yourself to do when you know that it's not good for you? It's not in line or of value for your future and for your goals. Take a deep breath in from the nose and exhale out. Be gentle with yourself, your thoughts, whatever came up. Just let it go. If you can zoom out to a higher perspective, you would notice that you're just human. So where can you laugh at yourself? Be playful with life and be gentle with yourself. Not taking things too seriously or too harsh. Being okay with what was, being okay with what is. Start to slowly wiggle your fingers, your toes, any movements to gently awaken the body. Taking a nice deep stretch. And then come to either side. And gently push yourself up into a cross-legged seated position. Hands are on your knees, lifting up from the crown, eyes are closed. Relax the jaw, relax the shoulders, and just notice what your body feels. And that even this harsh judgments and self-sabotage that you're doing is just for comfort, for love for yourself. What does your heart desire? Place your hands over your heart here and just really hold it for one moment. I hope this practice has given you some clarity, some direction, some ease and peace of mind. If you need any support, if you're struggling or have any questions or need more guidance, please reach out and ask for support. You can place your hands in prayer pose in front of your heart and just know that I am truly here for you, and you can reach out whenever you need. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.